terms of setting up utilities, bit of a boring subject as well, but a very crucial one.
It is an important
when
one,
it comes to it. I think maybe we want to start with, Sally, of what different types of utilities are we factoring in here when it comes to that?
So you'd need to set up your electric, gas if you've got gas in your properties. I know a lot of the newer
don't tend to have it as much.
They don't tend to use it as much. You then got your water, Wi-Fi, and then your council tax.
And if you bought the property maybe from someone else, sometimes we get asked from people, I don't know who the previous provider was. It's not always obvious. Sometimes there's bills that have come through and you can spot it that way, but there is a few ways to do it. One of those ways that I personally have used in the past is the likes of Uswitch. If you type in your address on there, quite often it will tell you, well, this is your current provider, do you want to switch to that? And that's a good indication of what it would be. Yeah,
with like your council tax, if it is a new location that's been set up or you're new to that location, you will need a reference code from the council. And that's quite simple to get. You just give them a call, explain, you need one because you need that reference code to set up an online account. They'll give that to you, then you go online and you set up your account. You can set it up by direct debit, however you want to.
And council tax is a big one because a lot of people that may or may not know this, if you have a serviced apartment, there is the opportunity there to switch to business rates, isn't there? There are rules that come. That's not a quick fix.
In England, you have to have had your property advertised for 140 days and then let out for 70 of those 140, which most people, by the time those 140 days have come round, you will have hit them. We will also put diary reminders for you, and we will send over, it will usually be about a week before, so you've got all the information ready for that deadline day of when you can apply, and then it's just a straightforward process then.
Because obviously it's a big plus if you can switch to business rates. If it's just one property, for instance, you won't pay any council tax effectively if it gets approved as business rates, and normally it does. It takes time, and it takes longer now than it did a few years ago. It can take up to sort of 9-12 months potentially. But from the point when you have applied, although you will still keep paying until it's approved, they will backdate that one once they're approved. So
they will reimburse you for what you're owed. So although it is a bit annoying as you're going through the process and you're getting 6 months down the line and you've still not heard from them, what you can hold on to is that will then come back when they've finally got through it. But unfortunately that part is out of our hands, and that's with the VOA, and we have no part in trying to get that any sooner. So
there's talks of it changing, isn't the system, and it's speeding up, and hopefully it does. But you're right, we do offer that personal touch of reminding people of when they can apply to it. We even fill out the answers
ready for you.
Ready for it. It could be the property details and stuff like that to make it as easy as possible. We've been through it so many times. We want to help clients with it as best we can.
Make it as easy as possible, and ensure that it's as easy as possible, so it's not so daunting then, because I know what I'm like. I'll put something like that off because I just think, that's too much. Whereas if you've got all the information, then you tend to only have to fill out your personal information and then you're away.
Well, that's it. And just switching back to sort of electric bills and stuff like that, obviously they can go up and down. It was very topical, wasn't it, a year or so ago, where utility bills were shooting up. There are things that you can do, and the things that we help advise on. Just thinking of the likes of thermostats. We met a company, didn't we, at a property show in London a few years ago, who had these systems where you fit them to the heaters basically, and it can turn off the heating if a guest is out for a day, and so they don't just leave the heating on all day and you have a huge bill.
And that's what we do, is we'll organise getting those put in, and then it goes on an app. So we have the app here in the office, and each day, if you've got a check out and you haven't quite got a check in for a couple of days, we'll make sure it's switched completely off so that it's not on those timers. Guests can boost them, obviously we're not going to deprive anyone of heating, but they'll actually have to physically get up and press a boost button, which I think works really well. Because if you're sat on the sofa, are you really going to then go and stand up and go and boost it? Probably not. You'll probably go and get a blanket or...
And you have to remember, a lot of these guests, will naturally treat it as a hotel room. It's not their own property like you would in your own. You turn every light switch off while you're on holiday. You're not going to always have that.
They'll go out for the day. They'll leave the heaters on all day. They'll leave all the lights on all day. If we can try and reduce that happening, we will.
But sometimes people, and I understand this method, will say, look, well, let me just do it the normal way first. See what my bills are. It might be that your rates are particularly good and you don't need to switch it, because obviously there's an initial cost with that type of thing. But equally, you might look at it and go, no, these bills are spiraling. I need to do something about it. And the message is, we're here to help with stuff like that. As much as it's not really our responsibility, your utility bills, we want you to be happy as a landlord, so we're going to help as much as possible.
And we want to save you money where we can. And with these little things, and people that we meet in shows like that, we get to meet them and we get our eyes open to it as well. And it's only something we can then refer on to our owners and say that we found this great product.
100%. I know a lot of people say it's a bit cheesy, but your network is your net worth. It is correct. And stuff like this, we meet so many different people in this industry that why wouldn't we pass on that knowledge and stuff that way with it. So there is a bit of work when it comes to utilities, setting that up on it. A couple of days work with it. It has to be done by yourself. Again, we do get asked sometimes, can we do it for them? There is a reason behind that,
because it does have to be set up in your name. The companies will not talk to us. No. We will try, but it's not necessarily like they're going to. You can add us as like a contact on your account. That doesn't always help. They still won't talk to us. They'll then have to contact you and say, can I talk to this person? You have to okay it. By that point, you may as well have spoken to them yourself, because then we end up just going around in circles. But it does.
But it like I say, it can seem a bit daunting. We've listed off a few different things there, that you have to set up. But really, you can get through it quite quickly. And once you are set up and you're aware, that's it. Then it becomes a really hands-off process.
With like Wi-Fi and things like that, we always ask the routers get delivered to the office. And then if you need open reach or anyone to go out to the property, we will then organise to be at the property. But it just saves us making 2 trips, one to take delivery of the router and then for open reach. It just means we're going over once, all set up, done. We can then test the Wi-Fi whilst we're there and make sure it's working, you don't have any issues.
And internet is a really important thing. I don't need to stress that to people now, how much people use the internet. Again, speak from experience, don't go cheap, doesn't always work. I did it with a particular provider, thought, they seemed the best price. Fortunately, it wasn't very strong, was it? The strength of the Wi-Fi on it. So luckily, I cancelled it within the time frame and switched to someone else. But lessons learned on that. It's so important that you go with the highest strength provider.
And we will always search your area if you're not sure who to go to. Reach out and ask us, and we'll do a quick search. Or we tend to have owners already in that building, so we know which ones are working and things like that, so we can advise you on which network to go with.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully you found that really interesting. If you do have any other questions that pop up, please do get in touch with a member of the team here at Guestz.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.